What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the Just Kidding channel. Alright, so today we're just going to be doing some supporting things to install the parts that I bought. I bought some parts online, what was it, probably like yesterday or the day before. So I got the battery relocation kit that we need. I also got the dual caliper kit so I can finally mount all 4 calipers for the rear. I also got a battery distribution block so I could try and clean up the wiring harness in the engine bay a little bit. Also, I think I got something else, but I don't really remember. But yeah, so we're basically gonna do some supporting things then, because I have to get all the seized things removed. For example, that axle that seized onto the knuckle. Let me show you right here. So this axle is seized on the knuckle, and I'm actually taking it to the same shop that I had the strip bolt for my WRX when I was doing the J-pipe, because those guys are pretty cool. So I'm gonna take it to them, see if they can remove the axle, then we'll be set. What else? Oh, for the fuel rail, I might have to remove the fuel rail. Take that with me as well, because like I did tell you guys, the 2 Phillips head fuel pressure regulator bolts, they're not coming off for nothing, and I don't really want to deal with that right now. So I'm just gonna remove that, take that with me, have them do it, get new screws, and then put the new fuel pressure regulator together so I can have it mounted and everything. Alright, so basically I also got another piece. It was a bracket for my mechanical e-brake, because I'm going to be running a hydro and a mechanical e-brake. If you're wondering why I'm running a hydro and I haven't been drifting professionally, it came with the car, so I'm just going to use it. I'm not going to worry about, oh, I'm not a professional. Yeah, I don't really care about that. So, and it has an angle kit too, so there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not spending money to put back on OEM stuff. It doesn't make sense. So I'm just going to use what it came with. And I'm going to be running the mechanical e-brake because I got the Z32 set up for the rear. So the knuckles just have to be removed from the axle, and I should be able to mount that up. I also need to get probably it's like a 26 or 27 bolt to remove for the top, and then we should be good. But I also have to wait for the dual caliper kit to come in so I can mount everything one time instead of putting it on, taking it apart, putting it back together. So that's basically what we're gonna do for today. So it's basically prepping. I also have to empty the old fuel that's inside the fuel tank. So when it's time for me to get this car started, then I'll have fresh fuel in there. Alright, so I just came back from Half Price Mufflers. I needed to get the axle out of the knuckle, so I just took it to them. They're actually pretty good, so if you guys want to check them out, I'll leave a link in the description. The owner actually welds pieces together and makes like transformers. It is mad cool. So for that, I'm just waiting for them to call me back. I have to go to AutoZone and get some shoes for the rear drums. So it'll be brand new when I put it on, so I have no problem with the e-brake. What else do I need to get? I need to get hard lines as well for the front to back, for the master cylinder to go to the rear set of calipers. And from there I would just need fluid, do the fluid, and that should be it. Well, I still gotta wait on the dual caliper kit because that hasn't came in yet. So it's coming along. It is cold out here, man. It is very cold. I just took the rear assembly apart, and everything came off nice because I have that Harbor Freight like electric impact gun or whatever. It came off pretty nice. So just putting it back together. I think I might have lost a spring, or the spring might have shot out while I was taking it apart. So I probably gotta find that. I'm gonna look on the other caliper, see if it only has that many springs or whatever, or see if I have any replacements, but I might have to replace that. No problem. So far so good. I told you guys that they deliver. They got both of the screws out, and they also got that pesky axle out. So it makes my job a lot easier when I have to put everything together. As you guys know, I had the new fuel pressure regulator for this, but I couldn't do it because the two Phillips head screws got stuck in there. And also have the dual caliper kit for this, and also I have the mechanical e-brake that I needed this taken apart. So they helped me a lot. So I'm gonna give you guys a look at their shop. So this is it. It's Half Price Mufflers. It's on Rector Street. They're cool people, man. He also does creations. Alright, so what I'm about to do is I'm about to do everything. I'm about to remove everything, right? And then from there, all you guys have to do is just play it backwards, and you'll be able to see how to put it back together, if that makes any sense. So I got this nut off. It was actually a 27. I had to go to AutoZone and get a 27 to remove it. These I believe are 19s. Let me double check that. Okay, it was correct. Those are 19, so it's just four bolts. So let's remove those. Alright, so all 4 bolts are removed. We're gonna shift it to this side, and we're gonna start removing the drum assembly. Alright, so for this side, you're gonna need a flathead and a plier. So we're gonna turn it to get access to this flathead screw. Pop this out. Same thing for the other side. Alright, those two are taken off. So what I did next, I loosened this with the pliers, and I also took off the springs. But I guess you can just remove the hub first. But I'm gonna just do it the way I did it, so I know. So let's start removing that. Alright, for this side it seems to be a little bit different. So what I did is, instead of removing the thing at the bottom, I just took off the 2 springs that were up top. This piece comes out with it, and then the shoe should come out like that. There's extra pieces, for example, like this. The line, I already undid that, so that should come out the bottom. Last thing I need is this and this. But for some reason this didn't want to come out, so I'm gonna just persuade it a little bit more with some banging, see if it'll come out. Alright, so I got the heat thing off. As you can tell, it's not in the best condition. So I don't even know if this will work. I mean, if I had the opportunity to sandblast it, I guarantee you it would be a lot nicer, but this looks terrible, so I might just cut it out completely. I know it's not good because this is the dust shield and it helps get dust away from the rotors and stuff like that, but there's not much else I can do because this actually looks terrible. So and I don't feel like spending more money to replace these, so I guess I'm gonna just cut it, try wire brush the hell out of it, and then see where I'm at from there. Alright, so if something's gonna go wrong for me, it will happen. It's inevitable. So as you can tell from this hole right here, the stud that was there did not come out properly. I'll show you right here. For the other one, that wasn't there. It was just a stud that was attached, and then you could just guide it right on, but that didn't happen. So it took a lot of brute force. I'm gonna look it up, see if I can run it without the shield. It looks like I can, but I would just want to be 100% sure before I go for it and then it doesn't work. So since they got the screws out of the old fuel pressure regulator, I can put the new fuel pressure regulator in. Doesn't need a gasket because it doesn't have this O-ring, so you pop that one out, pop this one in. But also I need to get a hose this size longer so I can run it from where it was supposed to be attached to the intake manifold to the aftermarket fuel pressure regulator. So just gotta take this to AutoZone and get it sized up, probably 2.5 to 3 feet of length, run it underneath the intake manifold to the fuel pressure regulator that I'm gonna mount on the firewall. I'm gonna have to replace these 2 screws that came out. Just to make it easier, I hope I could find something that's a hex bolt, because that would make it a lot easier to remove those, because since these stripped. So I'm gonna go to AutoZone and find out what I need all at once. I can buy it one time. I don't have to keep running back and forth. Okay, so now it is about 5:23, and I don't know why I've been procrastinating starting to install the fuel pressure regulator. I don't know, I guess I was just tired, so I took like a nap. But I'm gonna go to AutoZone and get 2 of these screws. Well, I got the other one. 2 of the screws and the hose that attaches to the intake manifold to this. I already have fuel lines, so that'll be done. Also, I gotta get the other mount so I can mount it. I was thinking about mounting it somewhere like, I don't know, probably like in this area. I'm not entirely sure yet because the VIN plate is supposed to go here and I don't really want it to block it, but I don't think it's a big deal. So I'll probably put the VIN plate first and then install it, or vice versa, who cares. Let's just take a moment to appreciate how sexy this damn car looks right now. Alright, let's go to AutoZone. Alright guys, so I'm back from AutoZone, and if you're wondering, the 2 screws here, if you're wondering what the thread was, it is M5.8. It was actually by 10, but I could only find by 12, which is not bad. So we're just gonna get those two of those bolts in here and knock it out. And yes, it is hex like I really wanted, so it'll make it easier for the next time if I do have to remove this. Alright, so I was wrong. It seems to happen a lot. These 2 screws were actually a little too long, but it's fine because I had locking washers, so I just put those over there and now they're the perfect size. So obviously fuel goes through there, goes through the line, and comes out here. So this would have to be attached to my return line. This is to the feed. So I'm gonna get the fuel rail back on, plug the injector plugs back in, and we'll go from there. What I don't like about the AutoZone bolts is that they're never regular size. So I'll replace it with a 12. Like the 12 is originally the size head, right? But then if I replace it with the same thread pitch, the head bolt will be a 13. Who uses a 13? No one uses a 13. For example, like that. That was Phillips head, and I guarantee you that's probably like a 7 instead of like an 8. Which makes no sense because everybody else uses 14, 12, 10, 8. But they don't. They use opposites, which drives me nuts. But yeah, so fuel rails back in, just gotta tighten it with whatever size bolt that is, and I'm gonna put the intake manifold back on. Alright, so the intake part of the engine is back on. We're gonna have to figure out the throttle bracket because as you can see it just comes right out, so it serves no purpose at all. So I have to figure that out. If I could probably get a washer at the end of the line so it stays. But for right now it is actually so cold that my phone refused to work and my camera's like bugging out, so I have to film this in clips. So I'm just gonna cover it back up. Some weight, call it a night.
Please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Have a good one.